Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. And good morning to you, Shauna. Good morning, Lauren. It is wonderful to see you guys here today. Good morning, Dan, coming in from Swanee. Good to see you as well. Thank you guys so much for being on the wake up call this morning. Yeah, we're going to do the thing that we do every morning, 9 a.m., Monday through Friday. I'm going to pull a card off the top of my deck. I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the card, and we are going to respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. As we do that, we are building into our own lives. We are changing up our own experiences. We are helping each other and ourselves grow into new versions of ourselves. Hey, good morning, Brenda Jean. Wonderful to see you as well, coming in from Decatur. Anyways, yeah, so we are here to do and say some good things about ourselves to just build into our own lives. So let's have some fun and do that today. I know I've had a very busy week so far. I'm sure that you have as well. But the wake up call keeps me accountable to wake up in the morning and to just get on my day. I don't always want to get out of bed, but the wake up call kind of compels me to. So thank you guys so much for keeping me accountable with this. Good morning, Susan. Good to see you here as well. Glad you're back safely from Greece. So yeah, let's have some fun. Let's pull a card and let's say that today I am grateful. I am grateful. I recognize and value the good in my life. So I am grateful. I recognize and value the good in my life. Are you grateful? You are grateful. You recognize and value the good that's in your life. I'm going to write that down in the comments. I'm going to say that today I am grateful. I recognize and value the good in my life. Ah, yes. I am indeed grateful, and so are you. And quite honestly, when I look around at my friends, at the group of people that surrounds them, or that I surround myself with, and that surrounds themselves by me, one of the overarching considerations I have, or one of the overarching knowings that I have, is that the folks around me typically are very grateful people, are people who recognize that their lives have proceeded in a way that is completely blessed, as Brenda Jean says, the blessings in her life, well, the blessings in mine too. The unmerited favor that life itself has given me, to even allow me to have such an existence as I do. And being grateful is about, it's about recognizing, it's not about having all kinds of amazing stuff in our lives. It's about recognizing that whatever it is in our lives is here to grow us, it's here to develop us, it's here to change us, it's here to help us to really become the ultimate version of ourselves. It is here, what is in our lives right now is the result of the choices that we've made in the past. And so when I look at all the good that I have in my life, I can usually directly link it back to something that, some choice, or some variety of choices that I made in the past that gets me here. When I was making those choices, then I oftentimes didn't really realize exactly where they would end up, and yet here I am. And for me, gratitude is, it's more than just a word; it's a way of being. I remember that I was not always a grateful person, that I would always look for the worst in people, the worst in situations. One of my house rules is that we bring out the best in people and things and situations, and that's just how, how I choose to organize my household. But the fact is that I was not always that way. I was always looking, I was always nitpicking. I was always looking for some way that something wasn't as good as it could be, or I lived in a constant state of, well, it could be better, so I need to make it better. Which, that perfectionism was the enemy of my gratitude. Having to be perfect was the enemy of recognizing that there was good in my life. I don't say that we recognize and value the perfect in my life or in your life, because our lives are full of their own little dramas. They're full of their own little inconsistencies. They're ways in which we know ourselves. We know that we are growing. We know that we don't live up to our own standards. And so what we recognize and value is what is good in our lives, not what is great, not what is perfect, but what is good. And my life has plenty of good in it. I have wonderful friends that I love and care about. I have a stable life. I have a stable career. I have stable relationships. I am a person that people are willing and able to trust. And I love that. I love that about my life. And I'm grateful also for the people who are around me. The fact that I have, as of right now, I've got 10 people who are willing to get up in the morning and watch me on the wake up call in the morning. It means I must be doing something right. I must be doing something good. And I think that's a really exciting thing. I think that's something that we cultivate over a lifetime of working at it. It takes a little while. I mean, it's definitely taken me a little while to recognize the good in my life, to recognize that even though I can always look at my life and say, well, this isn't the way I want it, or that isn't the way that I want it. But to recognize that there's also plenty of good there, and that when I choose to focus on that good, when I choose to value it, then my life takes on a completely different character. Life itself has not changed from the moment that I've been born until the moment that I'm here now. Life itself has always been proceeding in accordance with this now moment. What has changed, and what has changed a lot, is the way that I interface with it, the things that I focus on, the things that I cling to, the things that I grab onto are absolutely, those things have changed. And as those things have changed, those have made me into the person that I am right now and the person that I'm becoming in the future. So I am grateful. And I'd like to know what it is that you are grateful for. I mean, I have all manner of good things that I'm grateful for in my life. I have a career that is proceeding well, that I'm learning and growing and becoming a more organized person every day, that I'm recognizing my effortless competency at something that I purposed to get good at. And that's an amazing thing. And the fact is that I improved the house just yesterday, and actually did some physical improvements to my space. The fact is that I have the space to do it. I have the tools to do it. I have the knowledge to do it. I have the time to do it. And I'm grateful for all of these things. I'm grateful for my friends who show up and just say hello to me in the morning. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I get to say hello to you also. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the fact that I have my faculties, and I'm grateful for the things that money just cannot buy, the things that you just can't work to achieve. I'm grateful for the fact that the birds sing outside of my house every morning. That as I wake up in the morning, I'm waking up to listening to the bird song. What a luxury in life that is! What an incredible, incredible luxury. I'm just so grateful that I live in a community where I don't actually have to drive my car. I don't actually have to leave my house in order to make money. I can make money straight from the living room. And I'm grateful for that too, because I used to drive like 45 minutes in the morning and an hour and a half every single day to go to a job that did not pay as well as the one that I currently have, and to run to run a business that, I mean, I used to have to drive like an hour to go and run a business that did not pay as well as the business that I currently run. And how cool that is. How cool that is that that life has proceeded in this way. And so I'm very curious as to what it is that you're grateful for. Like, what are some things that you personally are grateful for in your life? What is it that you recognize and value that is good? As we focus on these good things, it brings more good things into our awareness. The good things were always there. Even when I was my most depressed or my most angry at the world, the good was still there. And and I've noticed this as I've gone through life. Sometimes I'll run into people who really do not embody a spirit of gratitude that I can tell. And people who are consistently talking about just what is awful, what is bad, what is not going right, what is wrong with the world that they can't control. And I as I do this, I'm always struck by just how abundant that these people are, but they won't recognize it. And so when that happens, there's a whole concept in spirituality. You spot it, you got it. Whenever we can observe ingratitude in other people, we know it must exist in ourselves. And I know that ingratitude exists in me too. Sometimes I do not appreciate all the amazing wonderfulness that's around me. Sometimes I also have sometimes I also get into a mode where I'm just, I mean, I'm just being cynical. I'm just being angry. And I'm not being a person that I like. I'm not being a person that I want to hang around with. And when that happens, I have to refocus on that. I have to refocus on what is good. I have to recognize it, revalue it, and recognize that the things that are good in my life have a value that is far, far greater than the things which are not. So I am grateful today, and you are grateful too. And we together we recognize the and value what is good in our lives. So I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm grateful for the fact that I even have the ability to run this wake up call. I feel grateful for the fact that I had the skills and the design skills to create these cards, and not only to create them, but the manufacturing know-how to actually turn them into a real thing, a real physical object. How neat that is, and how neat that these empowering words just live on my desktop, so that when something happens to take my peace or take my joy away, that I have these words that I can reach for. I have these amazing feelings that I can reach for. I introduced somebody to the emotional guidance scale the other day. And if you're not familiar with it, the emotional guidance scale is basically a list of emotions that we are feeling, and they're kind of structured as a ladder. There's 22 emotions on there, and at the very low end of the scale, there are things like fear and disempowerment and grief. And at the very top of the scale are things like joy and abundance and fulfillment and actualization. And the whole point of the emotional guidance scale is first of all, so we can recognize where we are on it, what kind of feeling that we are feeling, and then reach for the next higher feeling. So nobody goes from disempowerment to joy, but we can go from disempowerment to anger. We can go from anger to jealousy. We can go from jealousy to boredom. We can go from boredom to hopefulness. We can go from hopefulness to a profound sense of gratitude. And I think about it as I work with these cards also. Sometimes, be honest with you, when I pull these cards in the morning, I do not feel the feeling on that card. I do not feel it. Today I did feel grateful, but it's not an everyday thing. It's not every day. I do not wake up in the morning feeling all of this amazing stuff. Sometimes I wake up in the morning feeling downright awful, and I have to get myself into a better state. And these words help me with that. These cards help me with that, and I'm grateful that they help you as well. That people will come up to me, people that I'm not even aware watch the wake up call will come up to me and say thank you for doing it, and that sort of thing just gives me the impetus to keep on going. So thank you. I'm grateful for you for coming here and enjoying this. So I see a bunch of you guys have arrived today. Good morning, once again to Lauren coming in from Paradise. Good morning, Shauna. Good morning, Dan and Brenda Jean. Good morning, Susan. It is great to see you here as well. Let's see here. Good morning. Let's see. Good morning, Caitlin. Coming in here closer to the end. Wonderful to see you also. We are a group of grateful people. And so let's make sure that as we go through our day today, that we focus on what we're grateful for, and that we recognize and value what is good in our lives. I will return tomorrow at 9 a.m. with another affirmation, another card. But until then, I want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a fixture in my life. Thank you for for attending this call, for commenting on this call, for sharing it, for loving on each other, for building into each other. It is beautiful and wonderful that you are here. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. But until then, this is your daily reminder that I love you, that I care about you, that I think you're an amazing person, and that ultimately I understand that your life is going in wonderful ways. And so I'm excited to see and watch you as you learn and grow. Jan has made it, coming in at the very end. I'm glad that you're having a wonderful adventure up in South Carolina, Jan. Have a wonderful day. To everybody, I love you all. Talk to you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Aloha from Paradise.